Well, hello, my friends, and I can't believe we're a week till Christmas. I am not ready whatsoever. However, I want to talk about some of the things that are happening in 2024. At the beginning of the year, where I am joining a quilt along with a group of friends in an online quilting group or quilting guild called the Quilter's Way. And the quilt that we're doing is called Billy's Sampler, and it is from this book, The Great American Quilts of 1989. I got this book from Thrift Books. It is an old book, but I am so glad that I bought the book because there are so many wonderful quilts that I would actually enjoy making in this book. And this is Billy's sampler here, and it is 24 sample blocks, applique and pieced, and it has a piece sashing with wide borders. However, one of the big issues with this book for many new quilters is there are no instructions, there are only grids. This one is done on a 12 by 12 grid or 144 patch. These are 12 by 12 blocks with sashing. And so instead of doing a quilt along with the group, I'm going to blog and video my journey of doing this quilt along with my group. And this quilt, these sample blocks are not just easy pieced blocks. There is hexes, diamonds, half square triangles, quarter square triangles, advanced piecing. There's lots of applique, and it's going to be an interesting journey. So I decided that I am going to show you how I would make this quilt using these grids, hopefully so you can also learn to use grids so you are not as dependent on purchasing patterns for simple blocks or for making quilts that are expensive. Because I've noticed most of the blocks that are in quilts are very old blocks, and they're copyright free. They have been redone, and they've written you a nice pattern telling you to cut out 2.5 or 3.5 or 6.5 inch strip and strip piecing. I don't strip piece. That is not, I can do it. I don't like it. I quilt the old ways. I quilt like I was taught in the late 60s, 70s, and the 80s when this came out. So I'm going to show you how I do it. This quilt along in the group that I belong to is called the Quilter's Way. It's run by Kim Jameson Hurst of Chatterbox Quilts out of Canada. And the Quilter's Way is not, or Chatterbox Quilts is not sponsoring this quilt along. It's just me and several of the other members wanted to do this quilt. It started out one person wanted to do it. I saw the quilt. I fell in love with it. I have had absolutely no inspiration this year. I've decided, I fell in love with it, decided to do it, so we shared it with the group. Several others have decided to do this same quilt. So hopefully I can show you how other people have done it. If you would like to join us on the journey, you're more than welcome, because I will be posting the blocks and the instructions on how I made them. I'll be making videos on how I made them, each and every block, so you can do it my way, you can do it your way. It doesn't matter. It's all up to you. And that's how quilting should be. There is no one way. Also, many things have changed. For some reason, I lost access to the Quilting on the Budget YouTube channel. About 3 months ago, it popped back up and I have access again. So, you're welcome to follow me on YouTube, Quilting on the Budget YouTube channel, or my personal one, Hunter Deuling YouTube channel. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, Threads, and any other social media you can think of as Hunter Deuling. And on Facebook, I have a personal page, Hunter Deuling, and I also have access to Quilting on the Budget Facebook page that I will be posting this information to. But one big change is I've always had quiltingonthebudget.com domain, and this year I have created a blog. It is up and running. There is not many posts. It does have all the posts for the weekly quote with a free block, which is also in this grid-based quilting method. So we will go on this journey. I'm not making this a quilt-along or anything. Like I said, you're welcome to join. I am not necessarily a budget quilter, and I will be talking and writing about the tools that I use and why I use them. As many of you know, I had a stroke in 2010, and since then I lost the ability to hand sew. I lost a lot of functionality, but not enough to affect daily life. It's little things like I can no longer hold a needle and thread, so I cannot hand sew whatsoever. So I do everything on a sewing machine. And I enjoy quilting. I've done quilting since my grandmother taught me in the 60s. I learned to sew in the 60s. I also have, I think, very nice machines. Some would say they're okay. Others will say they're, oh my God, machines. I have 3 Berninas and a Pfaff. I used to have a Janome. Fantastic machine. I personally didn't like it. So I was taught to sew on an old Pfaff 260 or 360. I can't remember And the only difference between the two is one has a flatbed and one has a free arm. And I don't know if my grandmother had the free arm because I always used the flatbed. Even with my newer machines, they're all free arm, but I never use them. And I use different tools. Some are not cheap, some are, but I also know the old ways. We made a joke when I got this book that it's like, start eating cornflakes, because in the 60s and the 70s, for some reason, cornflake boxes made the best quilt templates. Something about the cardboard. They were a little thicker, but not too thick. They were perfect for templates. Have no clue why. I just remember that if you made them from Wheaties or from Frosted Flakes or Sugar Pops or whatever cereal you ate, the cornflake ones were different. That's the weird stuff you learned years ago. So we will go on this journey. The blog is up and running. You're welcome to follow it. It's quiltingonabudget.com. I'm going to post this video on the YouTube channel, but I'm also experimenting ways with posting videos so we don't get bombarded with advertisements. I've pretty much quit following YouTube because the ads drive me insane. And it's like, I don't even mind the ads. I know Google has to pay. But when I get 3 breaks in a 10-minute video in the center, plus the beginning and the end ads, and you get them 2 at a time, and some of them are well over a minute long. I even got a 29-minute ad the other day. Like, I'm really going to watch that. So I didn't mind them at the beginning, and I didn't mind them at the end, and I usually watched them to support the channel, but not any longer. So, like I said, I'm experimenting with different ways. I'm also going to try to keep these videos to between 10 and 20 minutes so that they can be posted on TikTok and places like that, because they don't like long videos. So I hope all of you join me in this journey. Have an absolutely fantastic holiday season. Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate. Have a good one and be safe, and I look forward to seeing you in 2024. As of middle of next week, I'm off to be with my family. I'm usually already off to be with my family, but this year we're doing some things differently. So everyone have a wonderful holiday period.